So anyway, we're going to kick it off this morning. I want to welcome you to the second annual Women in Business Luncheon. First of all, let's give our distinguished gentlemen waiters a big hand this morning. On the Fort Payne Chamber Board of Directors. If you'll introduce your guys, please.
Well, hopefully everybody can hear me in here. To my far right, got Jonathan Walker with Heil, Brian Payne with Bruce's Foodland, got Jeff Hall with Chick-fil-A, Scott Bateman with Regions Bank, also a chamber member or board member, and Jonathan is as well. Alan Kilgo with My Supply is also a chamber board member. Bobby Ledbetter, Twin City Used Cars, and Steve Everhart with First Fidelity Bank, also a board member.
Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it. Another special group we want to thank this morning is Volcraft for sponsoring Women in Business Luncheon. And without him, we could not have had, without them rather, excuse me, we could not have had Miss Alabama. So we're excited to thank Volcraft this morning. Consists of Linda Russell, who is Executive Secretary, and she's also the traveling companion of Jessica Procter, who is Miss Alabama. So you'll hear more from Jessica, of course, in just a moment. And then we have Lynn Brewer, who is the owner of Vintage 1889, and also serving her first term on the Fort Payne City Council. Let's give our head table. Coming this morning. When I look over this group, I'm sorry, but I see power. Lots and lots of power sitting out there. Do you realize that you control 72.8% of the household income? Some of you may even control 100%. I'm not sure about that. David thinks I do, but not really, you know. But anyway, there is a lot of power in women entrepreneurs. And we really appreciate all the women who take that first leap to open up a business in Fort Payne. And this is the purpose of the luncheon, is to recognize those who have tried and succeeded, whether you own that business or whether you're in management of that business. We really do appreciate you. There are over 1,200 women-owned businesses that open every day in the United States. That is unbelievable. And the reason for that surge is you're just as competitive as men. Sometimes you're a little more competitive, but in the South you hide that a lot, right? So, but anyway, we're proud of our women-owned businesses in Fort Payne, and we're also proud that you're here to support our award winners this morning. So, I'm not your MC. I'm going to turn it over to Lynn Brewer, and she's going to make all the introductions now. But again, thank you for supporting the Chamber and coming out today.
You're supposed to start with a joke, and I couldn't think of a joke much other than to tell you ladies that I made a terrible mistake this morning, and I don't know if any of you understand that, but I washed my hair. Everyone knows that your hair does better when it's dirty, and so I wanted to bring a picture of Rosanna Dana up and let you see that that's probably what I looked like this morning when I got up and washed my hair before I controlled it a little bit. But before we get started and have this fabulous meal, I'd like to ask Brian Payne, who is the president of our city council and doing a fabulous job, to come up and give the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear kind and most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you today, and first off, we want to thank you for sending your Son to die on the cross so that we might have life and have it more abundantly. We also want to thank you for this day that you've given us to get up and experience life one more day. And God, we thank you for each and every lady that is in this room, that is in business or in management of any form or fashion. We just thank you, God, for their lives. We thank you for this beautiful town, this beautiful community that we get to wake up to every single day of our life. And And we ask God that you would just bless each and every one of us here, that you would bless this meal, bless the ones that prepared it, and we ask all these things in your precious name, Jesus. Amen.
Okay. I'm sorry I've been she has instructed me well. I probably haven't listened very well. But we would like to thank Nancy's Lunchbox for catering the event today. That's the food that you'll be enjoying as your meal. And we just appreciate them coming and doing that today. And your most handsome servers will be bringing that food to you now, so just be patient. They're doing a good job.
Go back to talking.
I will say, and Johnny Everhart's sitting here too, he's a city councilman. Sometimes you can't shut me up, but I would just like to say and kind of reiterate what, I don't know why I'm trying to call you Connie, because Connie's right here, but Carol. I look out across this room and I'm truly inspired. I'm inspired by each one of you. There are ladies here, like a lot of the ones that have been honored today, that have been in business, you know, from the time I was a small child here in Fort Payne, and I just appreciate the fact that you have set a great example for all of us. And also I see the new entrepreneurs here, and I just want to tell you that I appreciate each and every one of you. Sometimes you may not know that the city council cares about you or whatever, but we truly do, and especially you women, you hold a place in my heart, because I understand some of the things you've been through. But I just wanted to tell you, each and every one of you, how much you inspire me every day. And I just thank you for your determination and your stamina, because I know it takes that to stay in business. So thank you, and enjoy your lunch. She is a talented and versatile vocalist, as you will hear. Her platform is step up to the plate, decreasing food insecurity. She has worked with the deaf hand speak member. She's a deaf hand speak member. I didn't know that about you. She did attend the University of Alabama. She's obtaining a Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies with a concentration in music and communications and a minor in psychology. And I really can't wait to hear. She is such a talented vocalist, but one thing that you might not know about her that I think really stands out, but you wouldn't know it from just looking at her here, is that she is a pole vaulter. And so she has many talents. I know it was kind of difficult to decide whether you were going to do a song or pole vault for your talent, right? So anyway, without further ado, I would just like to introduce Jessica Procter.
Hello, everyone. I've got a very loud voice, so I may not need this as much. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, like as she said, I'm Jessica Procter. I was crowned Miss Alabama a little over 2 months ago, and I'll actually be traveling to Atlantic City, New Jersey in approximately 3 weeks on the dot to compete for the title of Miss America. And the new Miss America will be crowned September 10th on ABC around 8 p.m. So you guys all have to tune in, and now you'll know someone to cheer for. I'm sure you were always cheering for Miss Alabama in the past, but now you know. So I'd love to have your support. And actually today, America's Choice Voting opened up, so you can go on the missamerica.org/vote website, and you can click on me. hopefully, if I'm your choice, once a day up until that day. So that would be fabulous, and that could secure me a spot in the top 15, so you for sure get to see me compete on that final night. But that's really not what I'm here to talk about. I'll talk a little bit about my preparation and how I became Miss Alabama and my journey in the Miss America organization and what it's been like. But I'm really here, honestly, to just honor you guys. And I prepared some things to speak about, but this is how it always goes for me. I usually prepare things and sometimes even leave them at the table because I love to just speak off the cuff, and I think in a place like this, it's hard for me to even want to stand in front of you guys and speak to you, because ideally, I want to be down there and have all of you women up here speaking to me about everything that you've accomplished and everything that you have done for not only you and your families and yourself, but your communities. I mean, hearing those statistics that you shared earlier, that's phenomenal. And for me, being a 21-year-old girl in this world that sometimes tells me that there's something inherently about me that's going to prevent me from doing the things that I want to do in my life, and hearing those statistics that prove that wrong, and then meeting all of you face to face right now too, is just so inspiring. And first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for digging deep. Thank you for taking that leap. Thank you for going against the status quo. And thank you for doing what you were created to do, because it not only has benefited all the people that you've benefited through all of your businesses, but it benefits me and it benefits my generation, and especially my generation of young women, getting to look up to you guys and seeing what you've accomplished, and having you guys as role models just to follow after. So I'll talk a little bit about myself. I just kind of intertwined it with a couple things on my heart. But I was going to start with singing, if you guys don't mind. Go ahead and get that out of the way before my voice gets tired. But I'd love to sing for you guys the talent that I'll be singing at Miss America, which is Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz, but the Catherine McPhee version that she sang on American Idol a couple years back before it left, and then it's now coming back, I believe. Not really sure why they just took a couple months off, but they're coming back. So this is Over the Rainbow, and sound good? I'm not sure where he is, but I might just take this off. Oh, you're there. It's hard to, this is the neatest little theater, how you just can roll those seats back. But I'll take this off, is that okay? All right. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane, just a step beyond the rain. Because I remember my friend Callie, her mom was Miss Alabama many, many years ago, and I watched her Miss America talent the other day, and I just felt so badly for her being a point dancer and having to dance for 3 minutes, full out. I mean, I think the whole first 30 seconds of her dance, she just kind of sat on the ground and did some very chill movements, but I'm no dancer, so I don't know how that goes. And let me just say, too, if you've ever been to Miss Alabama, we have these production numbers where you have to dance. Everyone has to dance. So the dancers are fine, obviously, but us pianists and singers, I usually have to take little private lessons off to the side with the choreographers to figure out all the movements, because it is a struggle for me. Not my calling, definitely not what I was created to do. But, so I love to sing. I've been singing my entire life. My parents are professional opera singers, They used to live in Germany and in Austria for about 10 years, where they were professionally singing over there in various opera houses and had both of my sisters there. And then when they became pregnant with me, they moved back to the States, and now they're the artistic directors of the Alabama Choir School in Tuscaloosa. And my dad also used to teach at the university. And if you've ever been to graduation at the university, my dad is actually the one that reads the names. So if any of you were there this weekend, you would have heard him. Just a little interesting fact about him. People will meet him sometimes and be like, your voice sounds so familiar. But that's about my parents and my family. So we grew up all singing together. People used to call us the Von Procters, like the Von Trapp family. I mean, we had the matching Old Navy American flag shirts. You know, my mom had the American flag sequin jacket, the American flag tie. I mean, I've got pictures. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Her jacket, she still has it. I've vowed that I'm going to wear it one day. It's absurd. It's got this huge flag on the back. I mean, it's crazy. But we just grew up singing, and so I was always a creative person growing up, and I think for me, it was never going to be the cut and dry, this is what you do, it's just what you're going to do, and you're going to maybe get this major, and you're going to get this job, college, and then you move on, and you just kind of plan your life out. That was just never how my family worked. It was never what I was taught, and it was never what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to do something with music, and I knew that I wanted to be in contact with people. And so I think throughout my life, my parents have always kind of challenged me to find my why, N-Y-W-H-Y, not the letter Y. And I think looking around at all of you, since you are all successful business owners, you found your why. And if you haven't yet, I really would encourage you to go home tonight and write it down. And I don't mean just your, why you do what you do or why you started it, but your overarching why, your passion in life and your purpose in life and what you really think you were created to do. And let it be something that so resonates with you that you can't not do it. And I think for me, being a 21-year-old, a lot of people my age are still trying to figure out their why. And honestly, sometimes my why changes. But I think that that's got to be what motivates what you do in your life, or you're going to get sick of it, you're going to get bored of it, and when things go wrong, you're going to want to give up instead of trying to find that new path. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about, obviously I wanted to share with you guys some of my story, and didn't know how many of you, obviously, when I get my contract for things like this, it doesn't have a list of everyone who's coming and what they do and everything, but I knew it was going to be women in business. And I didn't know exactly what that meant age-wise, or what that meant if you're all business owners or managers, or you work for a successful business, or maybe you started up one and now aren't in control of it. I wasn't sure. But I did know that I was going to be surrounded by incredible women that took big chances and followed through with stuff. And I like to call that, that's a podcast I listen to. I do a lot of traveling as Miss Alabama, not Miss America. Not yet. I know, my dad always says, you should claim it. My parents both changed my name in their phone to Miss America. So every time I'm like, hello, Miss America. Hey, Mom, just want to let you know the laundry isn't working. The garbage disposal doesn't work. Little things like that. And it's Miss America talking to them, apparently. So anyway, side note. I always say that too, though. You got to claim something. If you want it, go ahead and claim it, and it'll happen. You have to put it out there. You have to visualize it. But anyway, we'll get into that later. And I know you already know that anyway, since you've done everything that I want to do in life. But once again, I feel like you guys should be talking to me. So this is weird for me. But what I was saying is, I knew I wanted to talk to you guys I just wanted to encourage you all, because I know that you have taken those leaps and you have dug deep and you have had those moments of courage where you've had to just go for it and just do that thing. But I was listening to a podcast yesterday as I was driving home from Decatur, and it was called Raise Your Hand and Say Yes. Have you ever listened to it? Good. Okay, great, because I stole a lot of her points. So know that a lot of this isn't directly from my brain. No, obviously a lot of it is adapted and informed by my own experiences. But I was so inspired by it that as I was listening, I was like, I'm going to use a couple of these points, because it was just such a good reminder that we, not only just as humans, but as women especially, we need to follow through with what we say we're going to do, because younger girls are watching. And they always have been, but they're really, really watching right now. Because I think there is such a huge surge of women empowerment in our country that's amazing. We have to follow through with it, and we have to show them that we mean what we say, and we're not just wanting to be who we want to be, but we actually want to take the steps in getting there and showing younger girls that they can be whoever they want to be, and they can do whatever they want to do, because we did it. And that's what you all have done, and it is inspiring me so much right now. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite Bible verses ever, Esther 4:14. It's something that I hold on to so much, especially in my preparations for competing and in everything that I want to accomplish in my life. And basically, if you know the story of Esther, she had a huge calling on her life. And she didn't know it when she was growing up, but she was going to be the queen. And that was not something she planned for, but it was something she was absolutely called to do. And when she was about to fulfill basically her purpose, which was to save her entire people, to give you the short version, she had to do a very scary thing, and she had to go and speak to the king when you aren't supposed to speak to the king, even though he was her husband, without him inviting you. But she had to do that in order to save her people from being killed. And her uncle looked at her and said, "Perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this. Maybe this is the reason, the why, the big capital W-Y, that you were put into this position." So Esther 4:14, you were made for such a time as this. And that's something that, it's my phone background. I mean, it's everywhere in my house. And I think it's something that's really important to remind all of us daily, all of us in this room, that we were made for today, and everything that we're going to encounter today, we were made for. So there's no need to fear what's going on. There's no need to feel like you're unworthy of your calling, because if you were called to do something and if you were created to do something, you are equipped to do that thing. You may not know exactly how you're going to do that thing, but if that's what you were created to do, then it's going to get done. And I think that's something that, Joan of Arc, also I wrote this down. I love this Joan of Arc quote. She says, "I'm not afraid. I was born to do this." Because why would you be afraid of something that you were literally born to do? It was already predestined for you to carry that out. It's going to get done. And so I just have a couple steps that I'm sure you are all already following. But these are just some couple steps that this podcast was talking about. She had a couple of these that I think are just really important to remember when we're doing hard things, which all of you in this room, I'm sure, do hard things all the time. And you've definitely already encountered plenty of hard things on your journey to becoming as successful as you are today. But I bet they're not going to stop. I bet they're going to come back. And I know if you're anything like me, you're never probably satisfied, all of these women in here, you're never probably satisfied with where you are, and you're always looking to grow and expand and improve. But here's just a couple of steps that I just wanted to go through with you guys. I think are good reminders. But number one, trust that you're going to figure it out. And that doesn't mean plan on what you're going to do and then figure it out right then and there all the time. I think that means plan what you're going to do, and then maybe the next step is still not knowing how you're going to get it done, but trusting that you are going to get it done. Because you don't always have to know what the next step is, but you do have to always trust that you're going to figure out that next step, or you're going to give up. So, I don't know, and I think that's something too that women, we just have, sorry men in the room, but we just got this special thing about us that we will find a way to get things done. I don't know if men in the room too, especially you probably encountered this, whether it be your wife or another strong woman in your life, but we don't change our minds very easily. And I think that's a good thing. And we need to not get rid of that, but use that to encourage us to fail and try again, fail and try again, fail and try something new. And you just keep learning from that. So number one, just trust that you'll figure it out. And trust yourself, because you are worthy of being trusted. And don't let those unknowns make you chicken out of whatever you're trying to get done. Let those unknowns push you to finding the known and push you to figure it out sooner. Number two, make space in your life. Make space for change. What I've always said is that you can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, right? Definitely not my quote. Something I've always heard and held on to. Is that sometimes you have to remove things from your life that aren't serving what you know that you're called to do, and it feels selfish. And I think for me, being a people pleaser, it's been very hard for me to view myself as a person that I also have to please. Because if I am a people pleaser, then I need to step back objectively, view myself as another person that needs to be pleased in this process. Because if you're a business owner, you can't look to please every single other person besides yourself. You've got to view yourself objectively and encourage yourself along the way too, because we all need a pep talk. And if everyone else is encouraging you, yet you're always down on yourself, none of it's going to seep in. So make space for change and know that you are worthy of being satisfied with where things are at just as much as the other person. Number three, what I said earlier, find your why. And that obviously maybe should be before number one. But make sure you know what your why is, because when you encounter things that are going to tell you that you can't do it, or when you encounter those tough obstacles and you know your why, they don't have to halt you. You just, because you know that's what you were called to do and you are going to do it. If you don't know your why, it can make you question everything that you're doing and want to try something else. And I think a lot of people, especially my age, what we're caught in right now is raising our hand and saying yes to something and then making excuses that, oh, well, someone else, joined the board, or someone else joined the team, and like, maybe they'll be better at it, or maybe they'll get it done, or I'm not equipped here, or I'm not good enough at this. But the thing is that, like I said earlier, if you're called to do it, then you can do it. And once you know that why, then you'll never give up on doing that thing. So, and I think too, why we need to find our whys is that we have to be able to show young girls that their creative voices matter and that their uniqueness matters. And that they don't have to become like everyone else to matter just because they see someone else that's super different from them doing something amazing. It doesn't mean that their uniqueness isn't also incredibly valuable. And I think that right now, especially in the times that we're in right now, a lot of people are having identity crises and they don't know who they are, they don't know what their why is, and so they're just floating with the wind and not getting anything done. And that's why you've got a lot of millennials and people my age not getting jobs and not finishing college or not going into the career field that they originally wanted to get into, and just kind of putting a pause on life and using the excuse of, I'm just going to figure it out, which is a good thing. We need to figure things out. Don't jump into things too quickly, but sometimes you just got to take the next step. And I think all we need to focus on, number 4, is identify just your next step. You don't have to have the entire journey laid out. You don't have to have the red X at the end and every single turn you're going to take, but you always, at every moment in time, just need to know what your very next step is. And that's something that I've always kind of heard regarding my spiritual walk as well. I know not all of you in here may be Christians, but I'm a Christian, and my faith has been something that's informed everything that I've done in my life, and it's something that's really, really important to me. And what my youth pastor always told me was that the only thing you need to do is just worry about your next step. You don't need to worry about all this stuff on and on down the road, because plenty of things could change before then anyway. So just identify that next step. And especially in terms of like ministry and reaching out to other people, maybe just identify that next one person that you need to reach out to or that you need to inspire. And especially for all of you, maybe there's people you need to mentor in this community. Maybe there's someone you know that's 20 years old, 30 years old, that's looking to do what you're doing, and you know them, and maybe they're too shy or too scared to reach out to you, but maybe just reaching out to them, taking them out to lunch, taking them out to dinner, showing them that they're valuable to you and that your time is worthy of giving to them could make a world of difference. And you may never know the exponential growth that could come with you duplicating yourself through that other person. And that's something that I preach on all the time regarding community service, is just duplicating yourself and exponential growth. You teach 2 people how to do something, or you give passion about a certain cause to 2 people, and they give it to 2 people, each of them, and the next thing you know, everything's just blown up. And for me, with my platform of decreasing food insecurity, it's been so cool to see all these little 8th grade girls that I mentor through my church. It's like they've all become passionate about fighting hunger now, and I didn't even realize that I was imparting that to them. I was just being myself and being around them a lot, but it rubs off on them. And I've got girls texting me, even though now I live in Birmingham and I'm not even with them all the time, asking me what the number is for the West Alabama Food Bank and how they can go and volunteer on Saturday mornings with all of their friends. I'm like, are you serious? You want to do that? You don't want to sleep in? Like, and when I was in 8th grade, I'd be like, absolutely not. And it's just so neat to see. I mean, it's just so encouraging. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful to me than seeing people so much younger than me doing things that I would have never done at their age. And it's just so encouraging, because it's so easy, I think, to feel like the generation after us is always just going down to the dumps. I don't know if you guys ever say that, because I've noticed that the generation above me, we like to get down on the generations below us each time, because there's always problems, and there definitely are problems. But I think there's something so beautiful in each generation that they have to offer that's unique. And that's something that we are required to do as role models, is show them that this world really, really needs their own unique brand of themselves. It needs them, not just they need to show it to them, but genuinely they were called to do something that the world needs. So they've got to figure out what that is and do it. It's not just about them, but it's about literally doing that for the world. My dad has always said that your purpose in life is your greatest passion, your greatest talent, intersected with the world's greatest need. And I think that is the neatest thing to think about, because then you're doing what you love, and you know you're helping as many people as you possibly can. And so that's a great way to generate your capital W-Y as well. So I'll kind of skip through some of these because I could talk forever. But I think too, you don't always have to have courage that's huge and have this huge cistern, this huge well of courage that every day and in every single interaction you have in your life, you're just a courageous person, you're bold, you go out on a limb. You don't have to do that. I mean, we all fall short. We all have our days where we just want to lay in bed. I mean, this rain this morning, got on the interstate this morning and I was like scared, honestly, of driving for one thing. But you know, it's days like that where you just have to trust that you're supposed to be at the Women in Business Luncheon, so you're going to get there and it's going to be fine. They want you there. You're called to be there. You're going to be fine. But I think, especially in all of our endeavors in this room, and I know all of you are go-getters, you just have to have courage for that one moment. I think you only have to have courage in those moments where you really just have to dig deep and show that courage. You don't always have to be the person in the room that everyone looks to do everything, but you do, in some moments, you're going to be that one. And I think those are the moments that you prepare for your whole life, where you just got to dig deep for just a moment. Embrace that crazy faith that made you start whatever it is you started in this room, and just step out on a limb and just go for it. So then the next step is just do it, obviously. Do that thing, do the thing that scares you, and you all probably already have, but if there's another thing you're trying to do, whether it's start a website, start a blog, go online, I don't know, expand your business in whatever way possible, just do the thing. Step out there and just do it, because I guarantee you the only person keeping score is you. No one else really, honestly, probably cares about your business as much as you do. So if you do fail, then just try something new and learn from it. No one's keeping score. No one's going to say, once you figured that thing out and accomplished it and it's been so amazing that no one's going to say that it was undervalued because it took you 3 different tries of how to get there. If you get there, you got there, and you did that thing, and the world needed it, and now it's done, and you did it, and it doesn't matter how many times it took you to get there. So, learn from what does and doesn't work, and that's the cool thing about failing, is that it doesn't make you a failure. It just makes you full of more knowledge, because you're always going to learn from your failures in life. So, and then obviously, step number 10 is to repeat all of those steps a million times until you die. Because we're all just trying to continually grow and improve and change, and I think that's a beautiful thing about who we are as women, is that sometimes we are never satisfied with where we're at, and I don't think that's always a bad thing. I think that's wonderful. But something to remember is that change can be temporary, and change isn't always what we should strive for, I don't think. It's definitely not something I always strive for. I don't think change is necessarily what the goal should be when things aren't going right. I think it should be improvement, because you don't ever need to change who you are. Who you are is who you were created to be. There have been so many times in my life where someone has told me, you know, you're too emotional, like, ooh, you are too much, like, you're too funny and casual at these types of things, or you're too, I don't know, just too this, too that. And I listened to those things for many, many years in my life, especially throughout middle school and high school. I know that may seem really far away to some of you, but for me, that's the era I'm learning from right now. And I think if you let those things tell you that you need to change, you're going to lose who you are, and you might even lose your why. But if you listen to those things as, you know, maybe just funny humor, that's just who I am. Comedy, I love it. I love to make people laugh. I like to make people feel like they can relate with me. I like to make people feel like I'm on their level, because I am. Like, this is just a hat, really, that gets me a mic more often than some people. It doesn't mean anything except for the fact that more young girls look up to me. I have a bigger voice to be able to share things I'm passionate about, but it doesn't put me above anyone else. It may put me in front of more people to do things like this, but essentially we're still all eye to eye, and that's something I've always wanted to preach, especially to younger girls, because it's very easy for them sometimes to be like, you're perfect, how do I get to be like you? I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's like, you can't. You don't need to change. But if you want to see things change in your life, maybe just improve, because improvement is lasting and change is always temporary, and change may not even come from you. Change can be something that other people ask of you, that other people expect of you that you don't even want. So focus on improvement, improving yourself, improving who you are. Don't change who you are, because obviously whoever you are and whatever you do is working, because you're here. And you're inspiring me, and you're inspiring the younger faces I see in this room. And to the 3 honorees today, I mean, I can't wait to hear about everything that you've done. I want to meet every single one of you after this and hear about the incredible things that you're doing for your families and your communities and the generations to come, because, I mean, this is just such an inspiring day for me. And I've had a lot of these experiences recently. Last week, I went to the Miss Alabama Nursing Home pageant. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's a huge deal, and I had no idea that it existed. I mean, I'm talking, this was at the Winfrey Hotel. There were families with like t-shirts that are like, I think some woman's last name was like Clean, and it was like Clean the Queen. I mean, they had t-shirts made, posters, and these are women. One of them was 99 years old. Most of them were in their 80s, late 70s, some were a little bit younger than that, and just had, Alzheimer's or dementia, but they're all nursing home residents, and they all compete for the title of Miss Alabama Nursing Home, and whoever wins, like, serves for an entire year and goes and speaks on behalf of the Alabama Nursing Home Association and talks about all the amazing things that nursing homes are doing in Alabama and shines a positive light on nursing homes. And I just had no idea that this was even happening. So it was just yet another incredible thing that women in Alabama are doing, even when they're 89 and 99. And I'm sitting there, and I started crying on stage, and I was emceeing, which I haven't started crying today yet, but I'm sure talking afterwards, one of you will make me cry, because I cry way too easily. I'm overly empathetic, which, not too empathetic. I'm not listening to that. It's fine. We can channel that, maybe go work for something. But, I mean, just knowing that there are so many women in our state alone, and obviously across the entire country and across the entire world, but even just in our state that still aren't satisfied with leaving the world the same as it is when they're 89 and 99. They still want to serve on the Residents Council. They still have platforms and community service causes that they're passionate about, and still fighting for them when they literally are in a wheelchair and can't even get from one place to another without having 2, sometimes 3 caregivers with them. But these women are still so committed to serving their communities and serving the places where they're placed. It's just crazy to me. So to say all of that, I know I've been all over the place. It's just who I am. But I am truly honored to be standing up here in front of you all today. And it's humbling for me because, like I said earlier, I wish the roles were reversed right now and I could be hearing from all of you. But I feel like I am, just by being in your presence and hearing those statistics, and now getting to see some of you be honored for the amazing things that you've done. But just know that what you're doing is not just benefiting you, and it's not just benefiting the direct consumers of your product or your service. It really is benefiting generations to come, because all of us are looking up to you. We are all looking up to you. All of the women my age are looking up to you guys, and you inspire us. You encourage girls like me to keep pursuing scary, hard things like Miss America. Standing in a judge's room with, it's actually 7 at Miss America, judges that just want to trip you up on your 10-second opinion of Donald J. Trump, or your 10-second opinion of Jeff Sessions, or your 10-second opinion of us pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord. I mean, you never know what they're going to throw at you. I had all 3 of those questions in my Miss Alabama interview. But some of these things are scary, and sometimes they keep me up at night. But seeing people like you overcome scary, hard things is what pushes all of us to keep doing what we feel called to do. Keep striving towards our goals that sometimes seem so crazy big that they'll never get done. But seeing you all accomplish your goals encourages me so, so, so much. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for finding your why. Thank you for digging deep. Thank you for raising your hand and saying yes and following through with the things that you've set out to do. Thank you for listening to your calling. Thank you for trusting yourself. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for just being a powerful, strong businesswoman that goes and gets her business done and shows me how to go and get mine done, because that's what you guys do, and it's awesome. So thank you for letting me be here today. Thank you so much for sharing all of your talents with your community and with me. I really appreciate it, and I wish the best for each of you this year as you continue on in all of your business dealings, that I pray that you all have the most success you've ever had this year. So thank you for being here, and thank you for listening to me. And I was gonna, how are we doing on time? We're good? Okay, I'd love to close with just really, really quick acapella, quick tune. Just leave you guys with. Are you okay with that? Okay, this is God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Thank you.
Now I understand why she did not choose pole vaulting. The lady here next to Jessica is Linda Garrett. She is with Miss Alabama. I don't know what it's actually called, sorry. The program. Yeah, she's her traveling companion. And she made mention to me that the Alabama Miss America program is at the same level as the Miss America pageant. And Jessica, you're proof of that. I mean, that was awesome. And I would just like to thank you both again for being here. So now on to the awards. The chamber members are here to present those. So if you would come up now, we're really excited to learn and know about the honorees.
I'm Tricia Shankles, and I serve on the board with the Chamber, and it is my honor to introduce the winner of the Woman-Owned Business, Martha Harris. Martha is a lifetime resident of DeKalb County, Alabama, and she is the daughter of the late Otis Baxter Burt and Jewel Evelyn Guest. She married her last year in high school, and that marriage resulted in her only son, Johnny Eberhardt, who is a Fort Payne City Councilman now serving his 6th term. During high school, Martha worked in her parents' grocery store on 1st Street in Fort Payne. She later worked in the business office of South Central Bell in Gadsden in Fort Payne. In the early 70s, she married Fort Payne businessman Irby C. Wallace and spent her time being a housewife and mother of their daughter Audra Harris Griggs until the time of Irby's death in 2001, when she took over the management of his business interest. For the past 16 years, she has served as president of Harris Lands Incorporated, leasing homes and commercial buildings and selling hand-core polyethylene pipe for roads, ponds, and chicken houses. In addition, she is owner of KADD Properties, which owns lands and leases commercial buildings, and owner of Harris Mini Storage Rentals. And then just a little side note about Harris Land. It was incorporated in 1971 when Irby C. Wallace purchased 13 acres of land in Fort Payne, Alabama, and formed the Harris subdivision. Already a multi-business owner in Fort Payne, he was no stranger to the citizens of this area. In the beginning, he was president, and Martha served as vice president, and the business rented residential and commercial property. Before his death in 2001, he added the sale of hand-core road tile to the services offered and Harris Mini Storage. Upon his death, Martha B. Harris became president, and Audra Harris Griggs was elected as vice president. Today, the business continues to grow with over 40 rentals and is the main distributor of hand-core pipe in the county. Martha has always been a loyal supporter of any fundraiser or a good cause to support her community. Spare time is spent with her 4 grandchildren, 5 great-grandsons. and they are all the delight of her life, and this time spent is treasured. Would you help me applaud Martha Harris?
Thank you so much for this. It's such an honor. I'm not much for speeches, so thanks again.
Hello, I'm Tracy Jones. I'm on the Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce also. I'm here to award the Women in Management Award to Mary Davis. She's Child Resource Network Executive Director. For the past 45 years, Mary has moved mountains with our state in order to enhance the lives of children. She has always been at the forefront seeking legislation to improve state regulations for daycare centers. Through her leadership, early care and education opportunities for children and their parents have grown at the community, state, and national levels. She is administrator of 4 child development centers within our area. She serves on the advisory boards that work to strengthen availability, accessibility, and affordability of child care services for families who need or want care. Mary has authored several publications to educate and advocate the continuous improvement of child care services. Mary is also Vice President of the Cherokee Medical Center Board, a member of the DeKalb County Optimist Club, Cherokee County Civitan Club, and Cedar Bluff First United Methodist Church. Mary.
I am a talker. I just want to say thank you to the Chamber and to everyone in DeKalb County who has made it so wonderful to spend 45 years with your children. And there's no other greater calling in life than my wife. I want to thank my husband and my daughter for making it a joy to leave home every day and to be able to come to work. They encourage me. And I especially want to thank the ladies who are here and who are back working with the children today. That makes it such a wonderful experience. It's such a privilege, and they're the reason for this. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Wendy Holbrook and I'm on the Chamber Board of Directors, and it is my pleasure to announce and introduce our Community Service Award winner. As the Community Service Award winner, this lady has a heart of giving that came from her parents. They taught her and her sister to always give and help others whenever possible. She enjoys raising money for different charities in our community and is a huge part of Relay for Life. After her sister Connie was diagnosed with cancer, she realized how important it was for her to help and bless as many people as she could. Connie's wish was to live so that she could bless and give. So as her sister, she was determined, and she was a determined lady that used God's help and the help of her wonderful family and friends to give back as much as possible. She has been involved in numerous paint parties, helped provide care bags for the cancer center, blessed numerous families at Christmas, provided backpacks for kids in need, and made parent bags for the Ronald McDonald House. This is just to name a few. It is my honor and my pleasure to introduce you to the 2017 Fort Payne Chamber of Commerce Community Service Award winner, Vanessia Fike.
I'm not much of a talker either, but without the support of my family and my friends, this would be impossible. Thank you to the Chamber. And if there's anybody in here that's ever helped with Relay or been a part of Relay, please stand up so you can see how many people just actually help with Relay.
I would like to recognize, and this is kind of off the I'd really like to recognize Carol Bedingfield. She's the one that has made this possible. She's really inspired me through my service to the community, and she'll be retiring in a few months. And Carol, if you don't mind just standing up, I think you deserve a round of applause.
Board always gets on to me because I never introduce myself. I think, my God, I've been here forever. Everybody knows who I am. But anyway, it's like Lynn said, I will retire in the next 6 weeks, 4 hours, and oh gosh. Thank y'all for coming today. Jessica, you were right on point. Oh my gosh, is she not an inspiration for her generation? Not only for us, but across all generations. I mean, I was sitting there, tears were just, I'm trying to be cool, but anyway, thank you, Jessica, that was just perfect. And thank you, Lynn, you did an excellent job today. So we're going to have photo ops with Jessica in the lobby, and she's going to sign autographs if you want to take your program up there for her to sign the back of it. But I would love for the 3 winners now to make your way to the front of the theater underneath the DeKalb Theater sign. Not out front, right in the lobby. And Jessica is going to make her way also up there. And let's get some photo ops done and some signing of the back of your program also. And thank you so much. It was perfect. Thank you.